Jisoo stood at the docking bay window, her large purple eyes fixed on the human ship growing larger against the black of space. Her slim fingers tightened around her datapad. This was her first mission alone, and fear made her heart beat faster. "Remember your training," she whispered to herself. "Observe. Record. Do not engage emotionally." The Nilarian Science Council had chosen her because she was the best in xenobiology. Her people had only met humans 3 years ago. Humans were strange. They smiled too much. They touched each other for no reason. They made decisions based on feelings, not facts. This made the Nilarian leaders nervous. Jisoo's mission was simple: live on a human ship for 6 months, learn their ways, report back on whether humans were a threat. The human ship, *HS Horizon*, was not what she expected. Nilarian ships were white, clean, and quiet. This human vessel had colors painted on its sides. It looked messy. As her small transport pod connected to the *Horizon* with a soft thud, Jisoo checked her appearance. Her blue skin was clean, her white uniform perfect. Her face showed no emotion, as was proper for a Nilarian scientist. The airlock doors slid open. "Welcome aboard the Horizon*." A human male with dark hair and a wide smile stood waiting. "I'm Captain Dahyun. We're honored to have you join us." Jisoo gave the formal Nilarian greeting, placing her hands together and bowing slightly. "This one thanks you for the opportunity to observe your vessel's operations." The captain's smile dropped a little. "Well, you're not just here to observe. You're part of the crew now. Let me show you around." As they walked through the corridors, Jisoo was shocked by the noise. People called to each other across hallways. Someone was playing music somewhere. A group of humans in one room were hitting a small ball across a table and shouting. "What are they doing?" Jisoo asked, pointing to the ball game. "Playing ping pong. It's a game. For fun," Captain Dahyun explained. During work hours, Jisoo could not keep the surprise from her voice. The captain laughed. "It's their break time. Even humans need to rest sometimes." Rest was private on Nilarian ships. You went to your room and meditated. You did not hit balls with sticks while making noise. They passed the ship's garden, where plants from Earth grew in organized beds. A young human female with soil on her hands looked up and waved. "Hi, Captain. Is this our new friend from Nilaria?" "Yes, this is Jisoo," the captain said. "Jisoo, meet Min. She's our botanist." Min wiped her dirty hand on her pants and held it out. Jisoo stared at it, not sure what to do. "Oh, right." Min pulled her hand back. "Sorry, I forgot Nilarians don't shake hands. Nice to meet you anyway." Jisoo nodded stiffly. The human's emotional display was uncomfortable. On her homeworld, such openness would be seen as childish. Their tour ended at a small room with a bed, desk, and window looking out to space. "These will be your quarters," Captain Dahyun said. "I know they're not as big as what you're used to, but we did our best." "This is acceptable," Jisoo replied. "Great. Oh, and I've assigned Science Officer Tadwan to help you settle in. He'll be your main contact during your stay. He should be here soon." As if on cue, the door slid open and a tall human male entered. He had kind eyes and carried a small plant in a pot. "Jisoo, this is Tadwan. Tadwan, our Nilarian guest, has arrived." Tadwan nodded respectfully. "Welcome aboard. I brought you this. It's a peace lily from Earth. They're good at cleaning the air." Jisoo took the pot carefully. No one had ever given her a gift before. She didn't know the proper response. "Thank you," she said simply. "Dinner is at 1800 hours in the mess hall," Tadwan said. "I'll come get you then. You'll get to meet the rest of the crew." When the humans left, Jisoo sat on her bed, looking at the plant. She took out her data pad and began her first report. Humans are inefficient. They play games during work hours. They give plants as gifts. The ship is noisy and disorganized. I will continue observations, but I suspect 6 months among these emotional beings will be very difficult. Asterisk. She had no idea how much these humans would change her. Jisoo stood frozen at the entrance to the mess hall. The noise hit her like a physical wave. Humans sat in groups, talking and laughing. Some were pushing each other's shoulders in what seemed like fighting, but their faces showed enjoyment. "Are you coming in?" Taiwan asked from beside her. "There are too many emotions," Jisoo said quietly. On Nilarian ships, people ate in silence, focusing only on the nutrition they needed. Taiwan smiled. "That's just how we are. Come on, I saved us seats." He led her to a table where 3 other humans sat. Jisoo recognized the captain, but the others were new. "Everyone, this is Jisoo," Taiwan said. "Jisoo, you know Captain Dahyun. This is Hanul, our chief engineer, and Sunmai, our doctor." Hanul, a female with short hair and grease marks on her hands, grinned widely. "The alien scientist. Finally, someone who might understand what I'm talking about when I discuss engine specs. And someone who might appreciate proper hygiene in the medical bay," Sunmai added, giving Hanul a disapproving look at her dirty hands. Jisoo sat stiffly, surprised by how these humans spoke to each other. On her world, no one would comment on another's appearance, especially not a superior. "How are your quarters?" Captain Dahyun asked. "Comfortable enough." "They are adequate," Jisoo replied. "Though the walls are thin, I can hear music from nearby rooms." Hanul laughed. "That would be Jun next door. He thinks everyone loves his Earth Classics collection as much as he does." "I will tell him to stop," Jisoo said. "No need," Taiwan said quickly. "It's ship custom. If it bothers you, just knock on his wall and ask him to turn it down." Jisoo blinked in confusion. I would speak directly to him instead of going through proper channels. The humans exchanged glances. "What would proper channels be on your ship?" Sunmai asked. "I would report it to my section leader, who would speak to his section leader, who would issue a formal warning." Hanul nearly choked on her food. "For music, that seems like a lot of steps." Jisoo didn't understand their reaction. She looked down at her food tray, trying to make sense of the colorful items there. "That's rice," Taiwan explained, pointing to the white grains. "And that's beef stew. We tried to match it to your dietary needs." Jisoo carefully took a bite. The flavors were strong, nothing like the bland nutrition paste her people ate. "It has taste," she said, unsure if this was good or bad. Sunmai smiled. "Is that not common in your food?" "Food is fuel," Jisoo explained. "Adding flavors is unnecessary." The table fell silent for a moment. "Life's about more than just necessity," Captain Dahyun said gently. "Sometimes we do things because they bring joy." Joy. Jisoo knew the word but had rarely heard it used in adult conversation. Children felt joy before they learned control. After dinner, Taiwan showed her the science lab where she would work. Unlike the rest of the ship, this place made sense to Jisoo. Equipment was organized. Workstations were clean. "You'll be working with me here," Taiwan explained. "We're studying the new solar system. Your knowledge will be valuable." Jisoo nodded, feeling more comfortable among the familiar scientific equipment. Then she noticed pictures taped to the walls. Family photos, drawings, even jokes. "Why are these here?" she asked, pointing to a child's drawing next to a complex star chart. "Oh, that's my daughter's picture," Taiwan said with a smile. "She drew what she thinks I do in space. But it is not accurate. It shows you fighting space monsters." Taiwan laughed. "She's 5, and it reminds me of her when I'm far from home." That night, Jisoo wrote in her report, "Humans are confusing. They waste energy on unnecessary things like taste and music. They display personal items in work areas. They laugh during meals. Most concerning, They seem to value emotional connections over efficiency. This makes their operations chaotic and unpredictable. Asterisk. She paused, then added. Asterisk, however, their science lab is well equipped, and Officer Tadwan seems knowledgeable. Perhaps there is more to understand about these humans than I first thought. Asterisk. She looked at the piece Lily Tadwan had given her, now sitting on her desk. Without fully understanding why, she didn't include the plant in her report. 1 week passed on the asterisk ASS Horizon asterisk. Jisoo was slowly getting used to human ways, though many still confused her. She spent most of her time in the lab with Tadwan, studying star patterns and planet data. It was good work, even if Tadwan insisted on playing music while they worked. Jisoo was in the lab when the ship's alarm suddenly blared. Red lights flashed in the hallway. "What is happening?" she asked, her heart racing. Taiwan quickly saved their work. "That's the emergency signal. We need to get to the bridge." They hurried through corridors now filled with running crew members. Everyone moved with purpose, but no one seemed afraid. Some even called out jokes to each other as they rushed to their stations. On the bridge, Captain Dahyun stood looking at a large screen. His face was serious. "What's the emergency?" Taiwan asked as they entered. "Distress call from Miners Haven," the captain replied, pointing to a small dot on the star map. "Mining colony. They're under attack by pirates." Jisoo stepped forward. "Pirates? There are criminals in space." "Unfortunately, yes," Dahyun said. "They target small settlements, steal resources, sometimes take hostages." "How far away is the colony?" asked Taiwan. 6 hours at top speed," said a woman at the controls. "We're the closest ship that can help." Jisoo frowned. "You are going to assist them." The bridge went quiet. Everyone looked at her. "Of course we are," Captain Dahyun said. "They asked for help." "But," Jisoo struggled to understand, "is this colony part of your alliance? Do they pay you for protection?" The captain shook his head. "No. They're independent. We don't know them." "Then why risk your ship and crew? What do you gain?" Hanul, who was checking engine readings nearby, looked up with surprise. "We gain nothing. We help because we can." This made no sense to Jisoo. On her world, resources were never used without clear benefit. This is not logical. Captain Dahyun's face softened. "Not everything humans do is based on logic, Jisoo. Sometimes we act because it's right." "How do you determine what is right without a benefit calculation?" The captain seemed to think for a moment. "We ask ourselves, if we were in trouble, wouldn't we want someone to help us?" Jisoo had no answer for this strange idea. "All stations, prepare for maximum speed," the captain ordered. "Medical bay ready for possible casualties. Security team, arm up." Jisoo watched in amazement as the humans moved with energy and focus. There was no argument, no debate about the decision. "What should I do?" she asked Taiwan. "Stay with me. I'll be monitoring the colony's atmosphere and life signs. We might need your eyes." For the next 6 hours, Jisoo observed the humans prepare. Dr. Sunmai set up medical beds and checked supplies. Haenul pushed the engines harder than Jisoo thought possible. Security officers cleaned weapons and put on protective gear. Most surprising to Jisoo was the crew's mood. Despite heading into danger, many told jokes. Some shared food from their personal supplies. One group even sang songs while they worked. "Why do they seem happy?" Jisoo asked Taiwan. "We are going toward danger." "Not happy exactly," Taiwan explained. "But humans often grow closer in crisis. It helps us face fear together." As they neared the colony, Captain Dahyun called everyone to attention. On the main screen, they could see a small planet with 3 ships around it. 2 were firing weapons at the surface. "Pirates," the captain said grimly. "They're attacking the colony directly." Jisoo felt fear rise in her chest. What will we do against 2 enemy ships? Captain Dahyun turned to face the crew. His eyes were hard but calm. "We do what humans have always done," he said. "We protect those who cannot protect themselves." Jisoo wrote quickly in her datapad. Humans make no sense. They risk everything for strangers. They laugh in the face of danger. They call this right, but cannot explain why. Most worrying of all, I find myself admiring them for it. She looked up at the screen showing the pirate ships. For the first time in her life, Jisoo wondered what it would be like to act without calculating the benefit, to help simply because she could. The HS Horizon approached the mining colony at full speed. On the main screen, Jisoo could see the two pirate ships clearly now. They were firing weapons at the small buildings on the planet's surface. "Shields up," Captain Dahyun ordered. "Weapons ready." Jisoo felt the ship hum beneath her feet as systems powered up. She had never been in a battle before. On her world, conflicts were solved through talks and trade, not fighting. "Captain, the pirates have seen us," said the woman at the controls. "They're turning our way." "Open communication channels," Dahyun commanded. His voice was calm but firm. The screen flickered, and a rough-looking human with a scared face appeared. He smiled, but his eyes were cold. Well, Earth military coming to play hero," the pirate sneered. "This is Captain Dahyun of the SS Horizon *. You are attacking an innocent colony. Stop now and then leave this system." The pirate laughed. "Or what? Your science vessel against our warships. Bad odds, Captain." "Last warning," Dahyun said. "Leave now." The pirate's face hardened. "Fire on them," he said to someone off-screen before the connection cut. "Incoming," shouted the control officer. The ship shook as something hit it. Jisoo grabbed a rail to keep from falling. "Return fire," ordered Dahyun. "Target their weapon systems only." Jisoo watched in amazement as the humans worked together. No one panicked. Each person knew exactly what to do. Another blast hit the ship, stronger this time. Lights flickered. A panel near the back of the bridge exploded in sparks. "Engine room reports damage to cooling systems," someone called out. Captain Dahyun pressed a button. "Hey Newell, status." "Coolant pipe burst, Captain." Hey Newell's voice came through speakers. "I need to fix it before the engines overheat." "Too dangerous," the captain said. "The area is filled with radiation when the shields are down." "No choice, sir. Give me 5 minutes." Jisoo couldn't believe what she was hearing. And Newell was going to risk her life to fix the ship. "Taiwan, I need to see the engine room," Jisoo whispered. Taiwan looked surprised but nodded. "This way, but stay back from the work area." They hurried through shaking corridors to the engine room. The air here was hot and smelled of burning metal. Hanul was putting on a protective suit, her movements quick and sure. Another crew member was helping her. "You have 4 minutes of protection in that suit," the helper warned. "The radiation will break through after that." Hanul nodded. "Enough time." She saw Jisoo and Taiwan enter and smiled. "Come to watch the show." "You will be hurt," Jisoo said. "Why do this?" "If I don't, the engines fail. If the engines fail, we can't help the colony." Haenul said it like it was simple math. Before Jisoo could respond, Haenul put on her helmet and entered a sealed room. Through the window, Jisoo watched her work on a broken pipe that was spitting steam. The ship rocked again from another hit. Haenul stumbled but kept working. Jisoo's heart beat faster as she watched the human's steady hands connect cables and seal the pipe. 1 minute left, the helper said into a comlink. Radiation levels rising. Haenul kept working. 30 seconds. Haenul gave a thumbs up and started to move back toward the door. But then another blast hit the ship. She fell, her leg caught under a fallen beam. "She's trapped," Jisoo cried out. 2 crew members rushed to the sealed room door, but Haenul waved them back. "No. Radiation too high now. I'm almost free." Jisoo watched as Haenul pushed the beam with all her strength. Finally, she pulled free and limped to the door just as her suit began to smoke from radiation damage. When she came out, her face was pale and sweating, but she smiled. "Engine stable, Captain," she reported through her comm. Then she collapsed. As medics rushed to help Hae-Newell, Jisoo turned to Ta-Wan. She knew she might die. Jisoo said, her voice shaking. Yes, Ta-Wan agreed, but she did it anyway. For strangers. For people who needed help. Jisoo looked down at her data pad to make notes, but found she couldn't write. For the first time in her life, she had no words to explain what she had seen. This was beyond logic, beyond reason, beyond anything her people had taught her. This was something else entirely. The battle continued as the Hess Horizon fought to protect the mining colony. Jisoo found herself in the medical bay, where Dr. Sunmai had asked for all available hands to help with the injured. "I have no medical training," Jisoo protested. "You have 2 hands and a brain," Sunmai replied, not looking up from treating Hae-Newell's burns. "That's enough right now." So Jisoo helped by bringing supplies, holding equipment, and talking to the less injured patients. The work was hard, but she felt strangely useful. Then the ship shook with the biggest hit yet. Alarms blared through the corridors. "What was that?" Jisoo asked, fear rising in her chest. "Direct hit to our shield generators," someone reported over the comm system. "Captain says the pirates are sending boarding parties." Sun's face grew serious. "Lock the medical bay doors," she ordered a nurse. "We have wounded to protect." Jisoo watched as the doctor checked a small weapon at her side. Even the healer was ready to fight. These humans continued to surprise her. The door locks had just engaged when someone pounded on them from outside. "Medical team, open up," a voice called. Sunmai checked a small screen by the door. "It's our security team," she said with relief, unlocking the door. 2 security officers rushed in, carrying something between them. Jisoo gasped when she saw what it was. A small alien child, bleeding badly from wounds to its chest and arm. "Found her in the colony director's ship," one officer explained quickly. "They were trying to escape when the pirates hit them. Parents didn't make it." Sunmai immediately went to work, calling for blood supplies and scanning equipment. "Jisoo, I need your help here," she called. Jisoo moved forward on shaky legs. The child was small, with pale yellow skin and large eyes now closed in pain. "Hold pressure here," Sunmai instructed, placing Jisoo's hands on a wound. "Press hard." Jisoo did as she was told, feeling the warm blood pulse against her fingers. She had never touched another being this way before. On her world, such contact was avoided. Yet here she was, her hands literally keeping life from flowing out of this child. "She's going into shock," Sunmai said, heart rate dropping. The doctor moved with incredible speed, giving medicines, sealing wounds, adjusting machines. All around them, other medical staff worked on human patients, the room a blur of focused activity. "Stay with us, little one," Sunmai whispered to the child. "You're safe now." Something broke inside Jisoo then. A wall she didn't know existed suddenly crumbled. Watching this human fight so hard to save an alien child, a complete stranger, made her feel things she had been taught to suppress her entire life. Tears filled her eyes. Her breathing came in short gasps. Her hands began to shake. "I can't," she whispered, backing away from the table. "I can't do this." Jisoo turned and ran from the medical bay, ignoring Sunmai's calls. She ran blindly through the ship's corridors, not caring where she went. She just needed to escape the flood of feelings threatening to drown her. She found herself in a small storage room, curled up behind containers, shaking with sobs she didn't understand. Everything she knew, everything she believed about life and how it should be lived, was falling apart. "Jisoo." Ta-Wan's voice came softly from the doorway. "Are you in here?" She didn't answer, but he found her anyway. Instead of asking questions or telling her to return to duty, He simply sat down beside her in silence. "I don't understand," Jisoo finally said, her voice breaking. "I don't understand any of you." "What don't you understand?" Taiwan asked gently. "You fight for people you don't know. You risk death to save others. Your doctor is trying to save an alien child with the same care she gives her own kind." Jisoo looked up at him, her face wet with tears. "My people would call this madness." Taiwan nodded slowly. "Maybe it is a kind of madness, but it's the madness that makes us human. How do you bear it? Feeling so much all the time." "We don't always bear it well," he admitted, "but we've learned that trying not to feel is worse than feeling too much." Jisoo wiped her face, embarrassed by her display. "I have failed in my mission. I was supposed to observe, not participate." Taiwan smiled sadly. Sometimes understanding comes only through participation. They sat together in silence as the ship hummed around them, still in battle but somehow creating a moment of peace in the small room. "The child," Jisoo finally asked. "Will it live?" "I don't know," Taiwan said honestly. "But with Sunmei caring for her, she has the best chance possible." Jisoo nodded, finding strange comfort in his words. For the first time, she hoped, truly hoped, for something beyond her own understanding. Jisoo and Taiwan were heading back to the medical bay when a loud explosion shook the ship. The lights went out, leaving only dim emergency lighting in the corridors. "What was that?" Jisoo asked, her voice shaking. Taiwan's face looked grim in the red emergency lights. The pirates must have broken through somewhere. The ship's comm system crackled. "All crew, intruder alert. Pirates have boarded on Deck C. Security teams respond. All other personnel, locked down in safe areas." "We need to get back to the medical bay," Taiwan said. "It's the closest secure area." They started moving quickly through the corridors. As they turned a corner, they heard shouting and the sound of weapons firing ahead. "Back, back." Taiwan pulled Jisoo into a small side room. "Pirates are between us and the medical bay." Jisoo's hearts were beating fast. "What do we do?" Before Taiwan could answer, they heard groaning from the corridor. Taiwan carefully looked out. "It's Q and Jun," he whispered. "They're hurt." Without hesitation, Taiwan rushed out to help the injured crew members. Jisoo watched in horror as he dragged first one, then the other into the room. Both humans were bleeding from wounds in their legs. "Pirates shot us as we were running to our stations," Q explained through gritted teeth. "They're heading for the bridge," Jun added weakly. Taiwan quickly made bandages from his shirt to stop their bleeding. "We need to get them to the medical bay." "But the pirates are between us and there," Jisoo reminded him. "I know," Taiwan said, looking worried. "And we can't stay here. This room doesn't lock." Jisoo felt fear rising in her chest. Then, surprisingly, something else rose alongside it: determination. Her people might avoid emotion, but they were excellent at solving problems. "I can help," she said suddenly. "I memorized the ship's layout my first day here." All three humans looked at her. "There's a maintenance tunnel that runs under this section," she continued. "It connects to the air circulation system near the medical bay." Taiwan's eyes widened. "You're right. I forgot about those tunnels. They're tight, but we could make it through." "But Q and Jun can't crawl with their injuries," Jisoo pointed out. "Then we need to create a distraction," Taiwan said. "Something to draw the pirates away from the main corridor so we can carry them." Jisoo thought for a moment. "The environmental controls. If I can reach the panel at the end of this hall, I can trigger the fire suppression system in the opposite direction." "That's brilliant," Taiwan said. "But it's dangerous. You'd be exposed." Jisoo straightened her back. "I'll be quick. Nilarians can move very fast when needed." Before anyone could argue, Jisoo slipped out of the room. Her heart pounded as she moved silently down the corridor toward the control panel. She could hear rough voices around the corner. The pirates. Jisoo reached the panel and quickly entered the emergency codes she had memorized. The system beeped softly as it activated. Suddenly, alarms blared in the distant corridors. She could hear the pirates shouting in confusion, their footsteps moving away toward the false emergency. She rushed back to the others. It worked. We have maybe 3 minutes. Taiwan looked at her with new respect. Let's move. Together, they helped Q and Jun into the corridor. The injured humans were heavy, but fear and determination gave Jisoo strength she didn't know she had. They had almost reached the medical bay when they heard footsteps coming back their way. The pirates had realized the trick. In here, quick. Jisoo pointed to a small storage room. They hurried inside just as the pirates rounded the corner. Through a small window in the door, Jisoo could see 3 rough-looking humans with weapons moving toward the bridge. One stopped right outside their hiding place. Check all these rooms, he ordered the others. Find those crew members. Jisoo held her breath. Next to her, she could feel Taiwan tense, ready to fight if needed. Q and Jun were silent despite their pain. Just then, the ship's comm system came on. It was Captain Dahyun's voice, but he sounded strange. Attention pirate boarding party. This is Captain Dahyun. I am prepared to discuss terms of surrender. Come to the bridge immediately. The pirates looked at each other in surprise. The captain's giving up, one asked. Don't trust it, said another. It's a trap. Either way, we need to get to the bridge, the leader decided. Let's go. They moved past the storage room without checking it. As soon as they were gone, Jisoo and Taiwan helped the injured men to the medical bay doors, which opened immediately. Dr. Sunmai rushed to help them. Thank goodness you're safe. As the injured men were taken for treatment, Sunmi turned to Jisoo. You brought them here through pirate-controlled sections. That was incredibly brave. Back in the medical bay, Jisoo watched Dr. Sunmi check the alien child's vital signs. The little one was stable now, her yellow skin less pale than before. She will live, Jisoo asked softly. Sunmi nodded. She's strong. Like you. Jisoo didn't feel strong. She felt confused. Everything happening around her went against what her people believed. Nilarians valued logic and self-preservation above all. Yet these humans kept risking themselves for others and somehow grew stronger for it. The ship's speakers crackled. Attention all crew, came Captain Dahyun's voice. The pirate threat has been neutralized. I repeat, pirates neutralized. All crew returned to normal duties. A cheer went up from the medical staff. Several people hugged each other. One man wiped tears from his eyes. What happened? Taiwan asked the security officer who had just entered. Captain Dahyun is what happened, the officer said with a wide grin. When the pirates got to the bridge, they found him sitting alone, calm as anything. He offered them a deal, our ship's cargo in exchange for leaving the colony alone. He surrendered. Jisoo asked, shocked. The officer laughed. Not exactly. While he kept the pirate leader talking, our security team circled around and took control of their ships. When the captain gave the signal, we came in from behind and captured the whole boarding party. Not a single shot fired on the bridge. Jisoo thought about this. It was a trick, a deception, a strategy, Taiwan corrected. The captain knew we couldn't win by force alone against so many pirates, so he used their greed against them. Over the next few hours, Jisoo helped in the medical bay as more people from the mining colony were brought aboard for treatment. The *Hest Horizon * had taken damage, but no lives were lost. That evening, Captain Dahyun visited the medical bay to check on everyone. When he saw Jisoo tending to the alien child, he nodded with approval. Dr. Sunmai tells me you've been a great help, he said. Jisoo felt that strange warmth in her face again. I just did what was needed. That's all any of us can do. The captain smiled. How are you feeling? Today was probably nothing like what you expected when you joined our ship. No, Jisoo admitted. My people would never have engaged in this battle. The risk would be considered too great. And what do you think now? Jisoo looked around at the humans, working together, supporting each other. Some were injured but still helping others. Some were exhausted but still smiling. I think my people are missing something important. Captain Dahyun nodded thoughtfully. Every species has its strengths. Nilarians are brilliant scientists and thinkers. But humans feel. Jisoo finished for him. You use emotions that my people would consider weakness, fear, hope, love, and somehow they make you stronger. That's an insightful observation, the captain said. Our emotions connect us to each other, even to those we've never met before, like the people of this colony. Jisoo watched as Hae-Nul entered the medical bay, her arm in a sling from her radiation burns. Despite her injuries, she was joking with other crew members. How can she be happy? Jisoo wondered aloud. She is hurt. She's alive, Taiwan said, joining them. We succeeded in our mission. The colony is safe. These are reasons to be happy even through pain. Jisoo thought about this. On her world, pain was something to be managed and eliminated, not experienced alongside joy. Later that night, Jisoo sat alone in her quarters, looking at her datapad. She had not written any reports for 3 days now. What could she possibly tell her superiors? That everything they believed about emotions being weakness was wrong. She thought about Captain Dahyun's strategy, Hae-Nul's bravery, Sunmi's compassion, and Taiwan's kindness. Each human used emotions differently, yet all seemed stronger for it. A soft knock came at her door. When it opened, Taiwan stood there with a small container. Ice cream, he explained, holding it out. Earth dessert. It helps humans feel better after hard days. Jisoo took the container carefully. Why would cold sweetened milk products affect emotional state? Taiwan smiled. Some things can't be explained with logic. You just have to try them. As Jisoo tasted the strange food, feeling its coldness and sweetness, she realized something important. The greatest human advantage wasn't their technology or their numbers. It was their ability to connect, to each other, to strangers, even to aliens like her. And for the first time, Jisoo wondered if she too could learn this strange, illogical, wonderful human advantage. 2 weeks after the pirate attack, life on the Hess Horizon had returned to normal. The ship had been repaired, the injured were healing, and the mining colony was safe. The alien child, now named Lily by the crew, was still in the medical bay but growing stronger every day. Jisoo had changed too. Her daily routine was different now. She still worked in the lab with Taiwan, but she also spent time in other parts of the ship. She ate meals with different crew members. She even joined a weekly game night, though the rules of Uno still confused her. Today, Jisoo stood in the observation deck, looking out at the stars. The Horizon was mapping a new star system, far from the mining colony. Back to normal science work, Captain Dahyun had said. Beautiful, isn't it? Hae-Nul said, joining her at the window. The engineer's arm was still in a light bandage, but she was back on duty. Yes, Jisoo agreed, though beauty is not a scientific measure. Hae-Nul laughed. Still trying to be logical, I see. But you're changing. How can you tell? 3 weeks ago, you would have said beauty is irrelevant, not just not scientific. Progress. Jisoo found herself smiling. This happened more often now. These small expressions she never would have allowed before. I received a message from my superiors today, Jisoo said after a moment. Hae-Nul's smile faded. Bad news. They want me to return to Nilarian space. My mission was to observe humans for 6 months, but after the reports I sent about the pirate attack, they are concerned. Concerned that we're a bunch of emotional space cowboys. Hae-Nul joked. Concerned that I am becoming too influenced by human ways. Jisoo corrected. My last reports were not considered properly objective. Because you helped us. Because you showed courage. Because I wrote about feelings. About connections. Jisoo turned from the window to face Haenul. I told them that human emotional bonds create strength, not weakness. They did not agree. Haenul put her good hand on Jisoo's shoulder, a touch that would have made Jisoo uncomfortable weeks ago, but now felt natural. What will you do? I don't know, Jisoo admitted. I am supposed to report to a Nularian ship at the Gamma 7 station in 3 days. Later that evening, Jisoo sat in the mess hall, listening to crew members tell stories. Someone had brought out a guitar, and others were singing along. Jisoo didn't know the words, but she enjoyed the sound of their voices together. Taiwan sat down beside her with 2 cups of hot chocolate. You seem troubled, he said, handing her one of the cups. I must leave soon, Jisoo said. Return to my people. And you don't want to go, Taiwan guessed. Jisoo sipped the sweet drink, taking time to find the right words. If I stay, I fail my mission. If I go, I feel I will lose something important that I have found here. What have you found here, Jisoo? She looked around the room at the humans laughing, singing, talking. So much noise and chaos compared to a Nularian ship. And yet, life, she said simply. Full life. The next morning, Jisoo was called to the bridge. Captain Dahyun was there with Taiwan and Dr. Sunmi. Jisoo, the captain said, Taiwan tells me you've been ordered to return to your people. Jisoo nodded. Yes, Captain. I must leave at Gamma 7 station. I've been thinking, Dahyun said, looking at a datapad. The original agreement with the Nularian Science Council was for a cultural exchange. But it's been rather one-sided, hasn't it? They sent you to learn about us, but we haven't sent anyone to learn about Nularians. Jisoo frowned, not seeing his point. What if, the captain continued, instead of you leaving, we propose that you stay on as our permanent cultural liaison. You could continue to report to your people, but also help us understand your culture better. Jisoo's hearts began to beat faster. Is that possible? I've already sent the proposal to both Earth Command and the Nularian Council, Dahyun said with a smile. We're just waiting for their response. What if they say no? Jisoo asked. Sunmi stepped forward. Then we respect their decision. But either way, Jisoo, we want you to know something important. What? You've become part of our crew, Taiwan said. Part of our family. Family. The word had no direct translation in Nularian language. The closest concept was genetic group. But Jisoo now understood what humans meant by it. People who cared for each other, regardless of blood. Thank you, Jisoo said, surprised to feel tears in her eyes. Once she would have been ashamed of showing such emotion. Now, surrounded by these humans who had changed her so much, it felt right. Whatever happened next, Jisoo knew she would never be the same again. The HS Horizon approached Gamma 7 station, a massive wheel-shaped structure floating in space. Jisoo stood in her quarters, packing her few belongings. 3 months had passed since she first boarded this human ship. It felt both shorter and longer at the same time. She carefully placed her datapad in her bag. On it was her final report to the Nularian Science Council, a report unlike any they had ever received before. A soft knock came at her door. Come in, Jisoo called. Taiwan entered, holding a small package. Almost ready. Jisoo nodded. Yes, though I find I am reluctant. That's normal when you're leaving home, Taiwan said. Then he smiled at her surprised expression. Yes, Jisoo. Many of us see this ship as your home now. Jisoo's throat felt tight. The Nularian Council has not yet responded to Captain Dahyun's proposal. I know, but whatever they decide, I wanted you to have this. Taiwan handed her the package. Jisoo opened it carefully. Inside was a small silver pin in the shape of the Horizon *. All crew members get one after their first mission, Taiwan explained. You've earned it. Jisoo held the pin in her blue fingers, feeling its weight. Thank you, she said simply, but the words carried more feeling than any long speech. The ship's speakers came on. All crew, prepare for docking at Gamma 7 in 30 minutes. Jisoo, please report to the bridge. When Jisoo arrived at the bridge, Captain Dahyun was speaking with someone on the main screen, an Illyrian official with pale blue skin and the formal markings of the Science Council. "Ah, here she is now," the captain said, gesturing Jisoo forward. The Illyrian on screen looked at Jisoo with disapproval. "Science observer Jisoo, we have received your final report." Jisoo stood straight, trying to look calm though her hearts were racing. "Yes, Council Member Keltu. Your report is most unusual." The council member's face showed no emotion, but his tone conveyed criticism. "You claim that human emotional connections are not weakness but strength. You suggest that our people should reconsider our approach to emotional suppression. The evidence supports this conclusion," Jisoo said firmly. "Evidence or personal bias? You have clearly been influenced by these humans." "Yes," Jisoo agreed, surprising the council member. "I have been influenced by witnessing courage, compassion, and connection. I have seen humans achieve more together than they ever could alone, because of their emotional bonds, not despite them." The council member frowned. "The High Council has reviewed Captain Dahyun's proposal for you to remain aboard as a cultural liaison. Given your obvious emotional compromise, this request is denied." Jisoo's heart sank, though she had expected this answer. "You will transfer to the Nilarian science vessel *Logic Path* at Gamma 7 station. There, you will undergo emotional reconditioning before returning to your duties." Captain Dahyun stepped forward. "Council member, with respect, Jisoo is a valued member of my crew. Her insights have been invaluable." "This matter is not open for discussion, Captain," the council member interrupted. "Jisoo belongs with her own kind." After the call ended, the bridge was silent. Jisoo looked at the humans around her, people who had become more than research subjects. They had become friends. "I must go," she said quietly. "I have my duty." Captain Dahyun nodded gravely. "I understand duty, Jisoo. But remember, you always have choices." As the Horizon docked with Gamma 7, the crew gathered to say goodbye. Hae-Nul gave Jisoo a tight hug. Sun Mai presented her with a medical kit just in case. Even little Lily, the alien child they had rescued, came to wave goodbye. When it was time to leave, Jisoo walked to the airlock where a Nilarian official waited on the other side. She turned back one last time to see the human crew standing together. In that moment, Jisoo made her decision. The most human decision possible. "I cannot return," she said clearly, turning to face the Nilarian official. "Not to a life of emotional suppression. Not after what I have learned here." She stepped back, away from the airlock. "Please inform the Science Council that I respectfully decline their order. I am requesting political asylum with Earth authorities." The Nilarian official looked shocked, a rare display of emotion. "This is highly irregular. The Council will not approve." "I am not asking for their approval," Jisoo said. She felt Captain Dahyun and Taiwan step up beside her, supporting her choice. Later, after much discussion between Earth Command and the Nilarian Council, Jisoo received official permission to remain on the SS Horizon as a special cultural consultant. Her people had not understood her choice, but they had accepted it. 6 months after the pirate attack, the Horizon completed a difficult mission charting a dangerous nebula. As the crew celebrated in the mess hall, Jisoo did something that once would have been unthinkable. She gathered Captain Dahyun, Taiwan, Hae-Nul, Sun Mai, and little Lily, now the ship's unofficial mascot, into a group hug. "Thank you," she said, "for showing me what it means to be truly alive." That night, Jisoo wrote in her personal journal, not an official report, but her own thoughts. The most shocking thing about humans isn't their unpredictability or their emotions. It's their ability to change others simply by being themselves. They changed me. And in doing so, they showed me that the greatest strength in the universe isn't logic or power or even knowledge. It's connection. It's love. It's being willing to feel everything, even pain, because feeling nothing means missing everything that matters. Asterisk. She touched the asterisk Horizon asterisk pin on her uniform and smiled. She was home.